Hello everyone. I thought instead of doing a written column this month that I would create a video. The topic is children and their internet and online usage. A primary instinct of all parents is to protect our children, and in today's world there are a slew of challenges. One such challenge is navigating our children's online usage, their exposure, their time, and their devices. Even if you're doing your part at home managing all of that, how do we monitor what they do when they're not with us, what they hear, and what they see? I thought a great way to gain some insight on this topic was to interview kids between the ages of 5 and 18 and to get their take on the subject. So stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm 5 years old.
Hi, what type of device do you have?
iPad.
And how many apps do you think you have on your iPad?
150.
150. Do you play all of them? All the time? How much time a day do you think you spend on your iPad?
150 weeks.
Oh, 150 weeks. Okay, good answer. Ty, what kind of shows do you watch on your iPad?
Movies and YouTube and and Baby Shark and the Little Elsa song and PJ Masks.
Ty, what if you didn't have an iPad, an Xbox, or any device for the whole summer? How would it make you feel?
Sad.
Sad? What do you think you'd do instead?
Play outside, play around the world, play with chalk, read a book. Hi, I'm Lucas Reed. I'm 5 years old.
So, Lucas, has anything bad ever popped up that you know you shouldn't see? What was it, bud?
I saw a zombie with something like his head was in the neck.
Yeah. And what did you do then?
I just passed it.
You went right past it because you knew you shouldn't watch it, right? Cool.
Hi,
Thanks,
I'm
bud.
Lainey. I'm 7 years old and let's go.
All right, Lainey, what do you think it means to be online, or what do you think the internet is?
I don't know.
No idea?
What
Kind of device do you have, and how many apps do you think you have on your device?
I have an iPad and I think about 30.
About 30. Okay, do you think you use them all? Do you play with them all?
Yeah,
Play with them all? Does that take up a lot of your time?
kind of.
Kind of. How many minutes or hours a day do you think you use your iPad?
About an hour.
About an hour a day? So what do you do if something pops up on your iPad that you know isn't something that you're supposed to see?
I usually turn it off or tell my parents.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Chase Labasso and I'm 9 years old.
So Chase, what do you think the internet is?
I think the internet is like a place where like people can put like things that happen throughout the day or different times that they think like they want to post on the internet that they could show you, or that's one thing, or they could on the internet like you could look up stuff, or like you could watch videos and you can buy stuff.
Awesome, great answer, buddy. Next question. Where do you think all of that information comes from?
Like Siri and Google, they like put it in there. Like when you when you go on the internet and like ask them a question, like they'll, like if you ask, for an example, who's John Elway? It'll say, number 7, the former quarterback of the Denver Broncos. Like that, it'll like tell you from like Google or Siri.
Great answer. Next question. How do you think people like your mommy and daddy got that information before the internet was invented?
By sending like letters.
Okay.
Like you could send letters.
Right.
write stuff on typewriters and then like send it in the mail to somebody.
Okay.
You couldn't text because there was no phones.
But what if we wanted to learn something about John Elway? How do you think we found that information out?
Ask your mom or dad.
Okay. What if they didn't know?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. What types of devices do you have at your house that give you access to be online?
An Xbox 360. I used to have an iPod, an iPad, a DS, because I can go on the internet but sometimes. And there's one more line. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, great. How much time a day, on average, do you think you are on a device?
3.5 hours.
Okay. And do you think that's more than you should be online, or that you should have even more time online?
I should have no, I'm joking. I need less time.
Okay. How can the internet be useful for learning about something new, or if you're having trouble with something in school, how can it be useful?
Like if my teacher would ask me a question I wouldn't know it, I could go get one of the iPads or computers or laptops, anything in the cart, and then when I go get it in the cart, I pull out a computer, go on the internet and say, who's Tom Brady, the number 12, the quarterback of the New England Patriots? Like, it would just tell you.
Great, awesome. Do you think that there's anything on the internet or online that can be dangerous?
Yes.
Like what?
Like bad videos people post, and yeah, like bad videos people post.
Okay. Other than videos, do you think there might be anything else bad that's on the internet?
Bad language.
Very good, great. What should parents do to protect kids from those bad things online?
Make sure like they look what you go to them and tell them what you're watching before you're watching it. But if it's something good like this YouTube channel that they don't say any bad words, or just it's like a good YouTube channel, you can watch all the videos because, well, if there's one that says a bad word, just don't watch it.
Okay, good. Can you think of any ways that being on a device takes time away from other things that you could be doing?
Yeah,
Like what?
like I could be playing at, like one time I could be playing soccer, football, anything outside right now, but instead I'm playing Xbox on my DS or I'm on my iPad.
Good. Do you think that it can be addicting where it's really hard to put it down when you're in the middle of something?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's always a good thing?
No.
Good.
Even though I do it a lot.
What should you do if another child shows you something that you know that you should not see on their device?
That you should tell them to get off of that or go tell an adult.
Okay. Should you watch it?
No.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add, Chase, about the God bless you. Anything else you want to add about the conversation?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Miley Lesko and I'm 11 years old.
All right, Miley. What do you think it means to either be online, or what do you think the internet is?
It's almost like it could be fun in games, or it can be talking to your friends, or sending each other pictures. It can be a lot of stuff like that.
Cool. All right, Miley, what kind of devices do you have, and how many apps would you say you have on your devices?
I have a phone and an iPad, and I would say on my phone I have about 30, 40 apps. On my iPad I have about 15.
How many of those do you think you use?
Only about like 5 of them maybe.
Okay, and who taught you how to use all those apps, or are you kind of self-taught?
I kind of learned as I experienced how to kind of learn by myself, yeah.
Miley, do you think you know more than your parents about how to use apps and to go online?
Yes.
And has there ever been an instance of them asking you for help?
Yeah, when I was on TikTok, I didn't know how to watch my friends' TikTok, so then I had to show them.
Miley, are there any apps that you use for school or for educational purposes?
Yes, there are. There's Success Maker, which is we do in school for learning, and then it's like you do problems on the computer, and then they see your scores as you progress.
And do you think it's helpful?
Yeah, it's almost like a teacher's on the computer teaching you.
Miley, how do you think it would make you feel if your iPad or your iPhone was gone for the rest of the summer?
If it was gone for the rest of the summer, I could probably find other things to do, but it would be a little disappointing because I wouldn't be able to like talk to my friends or text them or do any of those fun games on it.
Hi, I'm Connor Rhodes and I'm 12 years old.
Connor, what kind of devices do you have, and how many apps do you think you have on your device?
I have an iPhone 5S and an Xbox One. I have roughly around 100 apps on my iPhone. I use most of them, but a lot of them I just don't use ever.
What kind of social media do you have, and how many minutes or hours do you think you're online a day?
I have Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I'm usually on social media. I usually just go on and check it. And I'm roughly on electronics at least an hour a day.
Connor, we all know that phones can be pretty distracting. Do you think they are a distraction, and what do you think people should do so that it's not such a distraction?
I think phones can be a distraction. Instead of actually going out and talking to friends, they'll just text them or call them. And just to how to keep them not distracted, silence them or totally just power them off.
Hi, I'm Sophia Sinaski and I'm 12 years old.
Sophia, what do you think some of the dangers are of online usage, and what should you do if you come across something that you shouldn't see?
The dangers are inappropriate videos, or if you're on social media, people that you don't know could try and hurt you and stuff.
And that's okay. And what do you think you should do if you come across something like that?
You should probably X out of your phone or go to another app and tell your parents what even if you didn't see it, tell them that that thing popped up.
How many hours a day would you say that you spend online, and does it change maybe by the seasons?
It definitely changes by the seasons. In the summer, I'm out doing stuff being outside, running. But in the winter, it's you can't really do that, so I'm more on my phone.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Sarnowski and I'm 15 years old.
Celia, who taught you how to use your iPhone, or are you kind of self-taught?
I taught myself.
Taught yourself completely? Yes. And if you come across something new, do you feel pretty comfortable that you could figure it out?
I do. Yeah.
How do you compare yourself to a parent? Do you think you know more or less about it?
Definitely more. My parents are not tech savvy at all.
And do they seek you out for advice on how to do things?
All the time.
All the time. So how many hours a day do you think you spend on your phone, and what do you think you would feel like if it was gone tomorrow for the rest of the summer?
I think I spend about 1.5 to 2.5 hours, the maximum a day. And if it was gone tomorrow, I think I'd be a little worried just because communication is so completely on my phone over the summer. So that would be that feeling, but I would also feel relieved because I get stressed out just having people talk to me all the time. So it'd be stressful and relaxing.
So do you think phones can be a distraction at all? And if so, what should society or family and friends do about that?
I think that phones can be really distracting, not only phones but other electronic devices. And to stop that, I think we should make ourselves aware. I've been at dinner table and my mom, or even myself, will pick up the phone just to see who texted us. But I think you should just put it aside, maybe silence it, just for a couple minutes, maybe an hour. It's not that big of a deal.
Celia, what do you think are some of the dangers with social media and teenagers?
I think it makes us more conscious of ourselves than we need to be. I feel like every adolescent has their self-doubts, but social media just adds to that. like it makes you feel like you need to be a certain way, and it's not good because we're so absorbed in it. Like we can't stop and talk to the person sitting right next to us.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the interviews, and I think that there are some really key takeaways from all of the kids that I had an opportunity to have a little chat with. One, all kids are online. They start from the age of 5 and it just continues all the way through adulthood. One of the other things that I found is that younger kids seem to have a lot more apps and games that they play with, and as they get older they transition to social media and use it primarily as a means of communication. One of the things that was so refreshing though is that every single kid that I asked about what do they do and how do they handle when something inappropriate pops up on their screen or they come across something they know they shouldn't see, they either turn it off or they tell an adult. So as a parent myself, I know that's always a concern, and I think we can rest assured that most kids are doing the right thing when they are witnessing or observing things online that they know that they shouldn't see. Finally, I think that as kids get older, social media for teenagers can become a challenge. They often deal with a lot of pressure. A lot of times kids are worried about their self-esteem and whether or not they measure up to other kids in their class. And I found by talking to some of the teenagers that that definitely is an issue with them. Finally, I think everybody realizes that phones and devices are a distraction, and what we can do to put the phone down, to silence it, to kind of put it away when we want to be spending time with our family and friends, so that it's not something that interrupts important conversations or other things that are going on within the family. In 2 weeks from now, stay tuned because I'm going to get the take of parents. I'm going to be talking to them about how they monitor their kids' online usage, how they feel about this new tech world and all of the online activity that kids are experiencing, and kind of how they handle it in their own home. So stay tuned 2 Mondays from now.